Inside the sanctuary. That was Moody Black with trunk music, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
That was nice.
That's my bae. I'm proud of it. I really am. Seriously, we have to support each other.
It's
wild out here in these streets. You know what I mean? And so if people are on their purpose and trying to do something positive, we really have to stick together and support each other.
We do.
So with that said, thank you, Kevin Thornton.
I appreciate it.
For being on the show today.
I'm glad you invited me.
Helping me through these relationship goals. We're going to have to talk about those other things too, though. Because you said that's just one thing.
Exactly.
So until we get you live in the same, have your own love, I'm going to have to have you back like several times.
Come on.
This could be Kevin Fix My Life. And I could really just show up every Monday and have my own questions and just figure out,
Come on.
So while we doing that, Ynette, are you showing beautiful pictures of Moody? He's gorgeous. Yeah. Yeah. So people look, they probably were looking at the pictures of Moody. Thinking, what? That's that man that's doing all that? No, that was him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Light-skinned guys are really not in season, but I think the beard does it, though. So I love you, Moody. I do. Keep the beard. Yes. Yeah, that he can, yeah. Anybody that I could take to a spelling bee, I'm okay with.
That is too funny. I can't.
You understand what I'm saying? Because some of y'all just got all package.
And no substance.
But then when I ask you something that doesn't come off a cereal box, you have no response. And so, therefore, I can't. I'm currently unable to can. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
I can't.
I do.
I can't. If you can't even read the box of Rice Krispies, I can't.
I can't with you.
How we gonna fellowship in the spirit? You see what I'm saying? Yes. And I'm not saying you have to know all 66 books of the Bible. I'm not saying that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you have to do all that. But I'm saying if I asked you to spell Ezekiel, could you? Could you? If I asked you what Jeremiah,
wow,
behind that book, can you spell Jeremiah in order to get to that book?
Exactly.
Because your table of contents don't work if you can't read. So, yeah. What does God say about hope? And you can't spell hope, so you can't go to your friendly concordance and look up some scriptures when I'm going through. You understand? Am I?
You
so right. You gonna play?
You right?
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
These are the things that I need to know, Kevin.
Those are things that you need.
That's what I need to know.
That's what we said in the conversation. There's a difference between needs and wants.
There's levels to this. You understand? God knows I need.
So you need a man
that can spell. God is. Let me tell you something. God wouldn't even torture me like that. God would not do me like that. He wouldn't do me like that. Seriously.
That's too funny.
Get you behind me, Satan. God would not. He wouldn't do me like that. He wouldn't do me like that. So I want to show a quick video. Okay. Because we actually met on a post from David Burris.
Correct.
And David Burris is...
He's a relationship expert as well.
Yeah. He's based out of California.
Long Beach.
And so it was interesting how we connected.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it was on this post. So I wanted to show a quick video. And then in this particular video, it's only a 4-minute video. So pay attention closely. He's quick. And that, the first part is just him. He's going Facebook Live. So it's just him saying, we're going to wait till such and such comes on. Okay. So if you want to go to maybe minute 1, that would be okay. Maybe about there, 30 seconds. Let's see. Because I want to skip past when he's welcoming people. You know how they do on Facebook Live? Welcome such and such. We're going to wait a few minutes to... Yeah. Hey, Janae, I didn't know you were on the... that kind of thing. All right? And so this one says, why Christian singles should be careful when seeking a mate if you're a man or a woman with vision. Nate, I need you to hear this. Get this down in the sanctified city of your soul. Get it. You understand what I'm saying? When I heard this, it set me free. Set me free. You understand what I'm saying?
It set you free.
So I wanted to share that freedom. I was like, what? My church clap, shout, run the sanctuary, all that. You understand? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to share it. So Ynette, whenever you're ready, this is David Burris, Minister David Burris, and he's talking about why Christian singles should be careful when seeking a mate if you're a man or a woman with vision.
For equipping single men and women for marriage and helping them prepare themselves for what God has in store for them. And so today won't be any different. Again, hello to all of you who are joining now. Would you do me a huge favor and would you share this video quickly and briefly with your fam and friends? Good evening, guys. let's invite some folks to watch this. So share it with your family and friends briefly, if you would, and then we will get right into our subject. Of course, I will not hold you long, as I have things I need to do, and I know you do too. So we're gonna get right into it. Hey, Ginger, good to see you. All right. So quickly, can you hear me clearly? I'm assuming. So I want to share with you why it is so critically important. You can hear me. Awesome. Guys, it is important for single men and women who are, especially those who are visionaries, those who understand that there's greater is coming into their life, and they have vision for greater. And those single people who are going after greater. Guys, you have to be very careful when you are a visionary single who's also a single man or a single woman. And I'll share with you why. As you are growing, I'm going to share two thoughts with you today on two completely differing subjects. This is thought number one. Number one. When you are a single visionary, be very careful when in your selection process as it relates to a mate. And I'll tell you why. Visionaries like you have the potential to see in people, places, and things that which may or may not exist. Visionaries have the potential to see something that doesn't exist, and then in your mind you can work it out, or figure it out, or think it through to the point of fruition. That's what you're doing with your vision. As a matter of fact, what's in your mind only exists in your mind until you manifest it. And so when you are a visionary who is single, you've got to be very careful, because you can see someone, and you can work out in your mind how that thing could work for you. Or you can work out in your mind how you can add to it or take away from it to make it be what you want it to be. You've got to be careful with that. You've got to be careful with exerting your vision in your relationships. Sure, you need vision, but you have to be mindful that it is not your responsibility to make someone be who they're not. With that, you have to be mindful that if you're going to commit based on potential, then the person you are expecting to show up at some point may never show up. And you've got to be okay with the fact that I'm basing my decision on potential, not practical. Does that make sense? So when you are a visionary, when you're a visionary leader, be very careful.
So, what do you think?
That's very true.
Because he touches on, like,
both of us. That's very true. Because I see myself as a visionary. So, and we had that conversation as we was prepping. That a lot of times I could see something, and sometimes I have to reel myself in.
Reel it on in.
Because like I could see how I can help, add to that situation, or make it better. And
everybody's not your work to fix.
Exactly.
You know, that's why you laugh at my spelling rules, but I gotta have something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it has to be something. And then some people pick stuff like, oh, you know, they have to be this color, or they have to have these kind of teeth, or if you're not like this. And I don't really care about stuff like that. Like, if you look at everybody I've dated across the spectrum, they all look different. I'm not into stuff like that.
Right.
But I do know that I have that problem of looking at something and saying, you know, and people will say, oh, don't date potential. But those of us who are visionaries have a harder time doing that, because I know that if you just had me on your team,
exactly.
Whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like, I look at you and I'm like, you only right here because you didn't. I mean, but if you get a chick like me on your team, we're gonna change the game. Everybody don't want to change the game. Some people want to just.
And the mindset that you have is real to a certain extent. if you select the right one,
Can he spell? Kevin, if he can't spell,
I understand. But if you select the right one who is willing, who's looking to grow along with you, then y'all can change the game. But a lot of times we pick the ones that's not trying to change the game. They just want to be who they are, and not
sometimes
what
you don't
we're
know
trying.
that until you get in it.
Right.
You know, sometimes they say they want to, and you can look at some areas, like you said, there are 4 things.
Right.
So they may have 3 of them together. You know what I'm saying? Or they may have 2 of them together, and it just so happens that the 2 of them that they have together are the ones that you're focusing on, because maybe the person that you just finished dealing with didn't have those 2.
Right.
You know, so now you're like more focused in on those 2 areas, and like, oh, well, he's doing exactly the opposite of what I can work with this.
Right.
But then those 2 that, you know, you have to have that whole package. So say those 4 things again, and I'm gonna add it to my spelling list, because
spirituality, relationships, career, and lifestyle.
Because if somebody's spirituality is wrong, that's obviously a red flag for me. That's number 1.
Right.
Because, you know, you can't lead me in prayer if you don't pray. So that's easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't lead me towards God if you don't know God.
Right.
You know, if they don't pray, then they can't stay. That kind of
Absolutely.
thing. So, like, the second one is relationships. How do we know whether or not somebody is in? I mean, and I guess other than just saying I'm a victim and I blame everybody, that's a sign that there are other relationships. If you know, if she crazy, you probably drove her crazy. Right. You know what I'm saying? But you're still not willing to accept her part. You still blaming her for messing up your life when you probably did more to mess up her life. If you haven't started to do your work.
Exactly.
And then that third one was
career.
That's hard for Black women though.
It's real hard. Because
we've already talked about how a lot of Black women think that, you know, so our community, it's easier for me in some ways to be successful career-wise than it is for some of my brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I work harder or that I deserve it more. It's just that the way the system is designed, I will by nature get more opportunities than them.
Exactly.
And so how do you know? Like, there's a thin line between potential and like a man who just hasn't had that assistance and a man who's just there because he just ain't going to do right.
Because, you know, for me, you know, it's not about words. You know, see, a lot of times, you know, men got the gift of gab and can tell you in a very articulate way what their goals are, what they're trying to become, or who they're trying to become. But if you don't see the action going towards it, that's the red flag. Yeah.
So you talk about it, but can I see the business plan? Like, how many banks have you taken this idea to? Like, how many are you attending the seminar? Like, what we going? Okay, gotcha.
What are you trying to do?
Okay.
And if you're not doing anything, but you got this great idea, you know.
Hope y'all are listening to this.
Because then a lot of times somebody like us will see that idea, and we want to help them out and go full force to try to help them pull it through. But the reality is, all they're doing is talking.
So this is good for me.
Thank you.
It's blessing me. I don't know. I don't care if y'all didn't get in. I can't.
So you know,
this is for me. Boo.
When we was prepping yesterday, you know, we said something, and we both were very transparent in our conversations. So one of the things I had told you was when I had first moved down here, I went out to a restaurant, and they had like a jazz band, and I met these 3 young ladies, and they all made great money. And so one of the ladies was interested in me and asked me, what did I do for a living? And I told her that there's other questions you could ask me other than what I do for a living if you're trying to get to know who I am. And so she said to me, if you don't want to answer that question, that means you ain't about. And I said, okay. So what I do for a living.
You okay, Nat? You need a prayer cloth?
Well, what I do for a living does not define who I am as a man. Just like what you do for a living does not define who you are as a woman. So I asked her, I said, can you tell me who you are and not tell me what you do, how much money you make, where you live, what kind of car you drive, and the size of your house? And she couldn't tell me.
And that's why those of you who follow both of us on social media, I sent you that picture today, and I thought, I was like, that's tickled me. So it said, you know, well, what do you do? And the person said, I'm a cashier. And it said, no, I didn't ask you what you do to make money. What do you do for the world? What do you do to make the world a better place?
Correct.
And there are so many people who equate making money with making the world a better place. But there are some among us who, if you follow God's call for your life, you will be broke every day of your life.
Exactly.
We don't want to admit that as a church. We always think that if you follow God's will, then you're going to be prosperous and all.
Exactly.
But there are some people who are going to be, you know, live below the poverty standard and still be totally in God's will for their lives. When Jesus said the poor will always be among you. Like, he really meant that. You know, you can be, you know, Mother Teresa had nothing. Not to say that she couldn't have had anything, but she was more into giving those things away to make sure that she totally heard from God on a daily basis.
Exactly.
You can't live like that unless you hear from him on a daily basis. And so she gave those things away.
Right.
All right. And
so, well, one of the things I do want to tell them too, in your spiritual walk and whatever you do, if you pray every day or you meditate, whatever you do, your question or your conversation with God, you need to ask him daily to release anyone or anything that's not aligned with who you are and where you're trying to go.
We're going to talk about that in a minute. We're
so
going to come back to that. You ain't finna just do no soundbite, Kevin. You just not what you... I had my 2-year-old niece at my house the other day. And she just got up in the middle of the night. She kept, I want Cheetos, I want Pops, just all kind of stuff. Just waking up every 5 minutes talking. And I said, what you not going to do is, you not going to keep me. And so that's what she's been practicing telling everybody. When somebody says something to her, she said, what you not going to do is. And so I'm telling you in front of Jesus, Ynette, and Jack, and everybody that's listening on Instinct Radio, what you not going to do is just blow through that one like we didn't hear that. We're going to circle back around to that.
All right.
We're going to, yes. We're going to put a praise on that thing when we finish, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
We coming back to that.
All right.
We're coming back to that. And so right now, it's 4 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
And so Dizzle calls in from Indianapolis. And you
Indy.
Yeah, you have some connections to India.
I did.
Okay. So T calls in and she gives us the news that we can use from inside the Whirlwind. So you ready for that?
I'm ready.
Okay. T, we got you on the line, babe?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey.
Hey, mama.
What's going on, T?
Oh, Lord, there's so much all the time, right?
And T, I have your video. We haven't played it yet. I haven't had an opportunity to play it yet. So let me know if you want me to play it during your segment. Let me know if you want Ynette to play it for you, okay?
Okay, perfect. So what we'll do is touch on a couple of quick things, and then we'll go right to the video, because that's actually where I wanted to spend the majority of our time today.
Okay.
So the very first thing that I want to do is a shameless plug for my goddaughter. Her name is Siobhan Moore. She's 18 years old. She just graduated high school out in Oakland, California.
So
she's headed to college in the fall. She just she just put out a book it's available on Amazon. It's $7.99, and it's basically her memoirs. It tickles me to death that an 18-year-old has memoirs. But you know, as a young Black woman in America, she's already experienced a lot in her 18 years. And so she wrote this book. And so it's called Memoirs of a Broken Heart. Her name is Siobhan Moore. For people who like to read, please go to Amazon and support her. I would really appreciate that.
T, can you say it again so Ynette can put it up for our viewers?
Yeah. Okay. So the name of the book is called Memoirs of a Broken Heart.
Memoirs of a Broken
Heart. And her name is Siobhan. It's spelled S as in Sam, H-A-V as in Victor, O-N. And then S is her middle initial, and Moore, M-O-O-R-E. And like I said, this is an 18-year-old young woman. She moved from the Midwest to Oakland, California about 5 years ago. And of course, she had kind of already, I think, started awakening her conscience before she left. But of course, being in Oakland and the history that we have there, they actually live upstairs from a community center. So she's become really heavily involved in movement work since she moved there. But this particular book is just about what she's experienced in her life in her 18 years as a Black woman living in America.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm so proud of her.
That's so powerful.
That's great.
Yeah.
18, I don't know what I was doing at 18, trying to get to the bookstore and make sure they had my book voucher. That's all I was thinking about.
I got to step my game up now.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Okay, so then a couple other things. So we know that in the case of Freddie Gray that we just keep going back to, everybody thus far who's faced charges, I think there's still one other person, but everyone thus far has been found not guilty, of course. I just saw recently that they have filed paperwork to have Marilyn Mosby, the district attorney there, or the prosecuting attorney there, disbarred.
Wow.
I'm sorry?
That was Kevin. He said, "Wow, that was their man voice. You don't usually hear a man voice."
So just so that they're aware of that, they are trying to now have her disbarred. Basically saying that she overstepped her boundaries, which translates to she's not staying in her place. So that's what's going on there. That's in Baltimore. Did you see that David Duke is running for office?
Yes, and I saw, most importantly, that he said that he knew that it was his time to run for office. So not that you just in your feelings and you think I can do this. You have perceived that now is the time for your foolishness.
Right. Right. And so, everybody keeps talking about this climate. And to be honest, and I know this is an unpopular opinion, I don't know that, to me, that there really will be much difference between whether Donald Trump wins or whether Hillary Clinton wins. And I know that's not, the popular opinion. But we apparently live in a time where David Duke thinks that he can run and win in Senate. And keep in mind that he's been running for office since the 70s. Right. He apparently ran for president twice, which I didn't realize. He ran as a Democrat in 1988 and then as a Republican in 92. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember that as a kid growing up.
Yeah, but so apparently we live in a time where it's appropriate for David Duke to run for office.
So T, this is I have a question about the whole political arena, and you may be about to get to it. Mm-hmm. But what's going on with the Democratic National Convention and Wasserman Schultz? Like, what's happening with that? Like, why did Hillary just make her honorary campaign chair, even though she just got caught being unethical? Like, what?
Right.
Well, right. I mean, I don't know. To me, I tell people all the time, as far as I'm concerned, and I realize that this is unpopular, but as far as I'm concerned, the Democratic wing and the Republican wing are two wings that are still attached to the same bird. Correct. And flying in the same direction. So it's not surprising to me. The hot mess that was the Republican National Convention, because as much as I really discount, I don't really do politics, in that way, but I watch it because it's like a train wreck. So as much of a hot mess as they were last week, I expect the Democratic convention to be much more together. But, it's a mess. And either way you look at it, it's a mess. It's just a little bit less messy than the Republicans.
I'm just not, and one of our running jokes is calling Hillary Missy Ann. Missy Ann. Right. I'm just not, I think we're going to have to do the right NT. I think we're going to have to do the D's nuts. I'm not sure. I don't trust her. I don't. Right. There's something right about Missy Ann. And I guess by the fact that I call her Missy Ann, that lets you know how I feel about her honesty level. Right. But. Right.
Well, we saw what her husband did while he was in office, because of him, the mass incarceration complex went through the roof because of his policies.
But can I tell you that I think she's worse than him? I really think that she's more aggressively ambitious and just cutthroat. And I just feel like the only reason why she stayed with him after all that was because she wanted this thing so bad that she, she wasn't even, she doesn't even have, high marks as far as all she sees is this. Mm-hmm. And she knew she had to get her turn back in that White House again. She didn't care what she had to do. And if she had to grovel at Obama's feet to get that secretary. It doesn't matter
who she has to step on and what lies she has to tell in the process. And at the end of the day, there is an agenda that she plans to carry forward. And she doesn't care what she has to say or do in order to make that happen. She wants to be the first woman president. And I think whatever it takes to do that, I think she's willing to do. And I know I don't trust her. I don't trust her as far as I can throw her. But, that's not saying much because I don't trust politicians in general. So,
Well, I think you and I are probably going to run for an office one day, even if it's city council or something. We're going to have to do something. We're going to have to
Well, I don't know if I'll pass the background check, to be honest. As soon as they try to vet me, I know it's just a done deal.
Well, you know what? So, I guess, yeah, you might be right. I don't have no felonies or nothing, but they'll probably see some stuff that I post. They'll be like, she don't really like.
Right. Right. One look at our Facebook page is
a done deal. Trust her with the...
like, they're not going with the program.
Wow. Okay. So what else you got going on? I know you still got more down in the bag.
Right. So I want to go ahead and real quick take a listen to that video.
Okay.
And then we will chat about it on the other side.
Okay. Go ahead, Ynette.
First in today's game.
You gotta get this on camera. I can't. On 10. In regards to today's game, it's unfortunate that we lost. We understand there's some things we could have done differently in the game, but we give a lot of credit to Indiana. They played well today. They played together. And so when we go into the break, understanding we have to get better and focus on small things so we come back after the break and make sure we're to the playoffs. I'm really proud of the ladies standing behind me for what they've accomplished thus far. But we understand that there's a lot of basketball still left to play. So thank you very much.
Told you guys, we really feel like there's still an issue here in America. We want to be able to use our platforms. We want to be able to use our voices. We don't want to let anybody silence us in what we want to talk about. So you guys can ask away about anything that's happening in society. And, it's unfortunate that the WNBA has fined us and not supported its players. So whatever you want to ask about that, feel free. But we'll only be taking questions about that today.
How should continue to wear the shirts after the break?
We didn't wear the shirts today. We don't know what's going on right now as far as what we're going to continue to do, but what we will continue to do is we'll continue to advocate for what we feel is important and what we feel needs to be spoken out.
How surprised were you that the fine came, and what was sort of the means by which the league let you know it was happening?
Not surprised. They sent out memos to let us know. I'm surprised that when it took place, because we have been already wearing our shirts for 4 games in. So to me, it looks like they just decided that they're just going to do it just because. If you're going to do something, stand strong on it, stand firm on it, do it from the beginning, and that's it.
Official from the league was here talking to you guys after the game last week. What was the conversation like at that time? And has the league changed the way it's responded to your efforts to highlight these issues?
I'm not sure where you got that information, but we didn't speak to any officials from the league.
What message were you hoping to send by wearing the shirt?
Same message that we sent the first time. We feel like America has a problem with the police brutality that's going on with black lives around here. And we want to just use our voices and use our platforms to advocate for that. Just because someone says Black Lives Matter doesn't mean that other lives doesn't matter. People put this imaginary Black Lives only matter whenever people say Black Lives Matter. What we're saying is Black Lives Matter too. Period.
What do you think it says that the league made the decision to issue these fines at this point? And does it invalidate the support you heard from the supporters from Adam Silver a week ago?
I'm not sure what the league is thinking. That's the question that you need to ask the league. But what I am sure about is majority of this league is made up of black women. So this is something that directly affects us, and we want to use our voices.
How far are you willing to go to lift your voice?
We're just going to continue to lift our voices. We're going to find different ways that we can support one another, support the people that's in this league, and continue to use our voices.
Have you looked?
I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Have you looked into working with male professional players?
Yes, we're going to continue to work with whoever wants to voice their opinions on these, who wants to advocate for what we believe is important. The male players have obviously they used the ESPYs to Carmelo made a huge statement. We support what they support, and that's that.
Tina, your decision to wear the shirt inside out when accepting Player of the Month award. Have you heard anything back from the league about it? What went into your thinking about that as well? And do you expect to hear from the league about it?
I was just really more importantly with what happened today in North Miami to the African American male who was down and just trying to help an autistic person. That really, when I heard about those news, I just couldn't be silent. Just knowing my status, just knowing
the player I am representing this organization. If anybody was going to wear it, I know it had to be me. So for me personally, it's just all about me continuing to raise awareness. I have no problem wearing this shirt inside out for the rest of the season until we're able to have the WNBA support. And so just in my position, I'm just going to continue to do that.
What other ways do you look to as sort of the next steps for you to raise this kind of awareness? You have a big platform coming, obviously, going to the Olympics as well.
I'm just talking amongst my teammates there. I believe we're going to be around other NBA players. I'm just being able to see how they feel, what they're thinking about doing, and just coming collectively together. I think more importantly, the other 11 WNBA teams, seeing how we just did basically a media blackout, seeing if they're up for doing the same thing, and if they're trying to silence us on our platform, wearing our T-shirts, that we can use you guys as a platform and just force you guys to have to force this matter.
And I just like to also add to that is that we really would appreciate that people stop making our support of Black Lives Matter and the issue that is so critical in our society right now as us not supporting the police officers. There's a lot of women in this room right now in the WNBA who have family members who are in law enforcement, family who are in the military, and so that is not true. The fact of the matter is there is an issue at hand, and as much as we can grieve and feel sorry for those families that are losing the police officers, we also have the right and the ability to also have our voice be heard about an issue that goes back even further than the deaths that have been happening lately. And so I think that people need to understand it's not mutually exclusive. You also can support both things, but at the same time, this issue is important to us, and that's where we stand on things. And to add to that, I would also like to say that we're not in a form of defiance to the league. We understand we have sponsors. We actually took a step to make sure that we still had all black shirts with Adidas on it to support the sponsor. We would just hope that the league would be more open to working with the players because, like Tanisha said, the majority of our players are passionate about this. The majority of our players care about this. The majority of our players are affected by this. And it's something that has to change. And if we can use this platform, not only now, but continue through the off season, we're going to do that.
Do you plan to take any direct action to reach out to Lisa Borders or to the league as a whole to try and bring resolution to this?
Tanisha and I are both on the executive committee with the union. This has been an ongoing thing. We have been in dialogue for the last few weeks with the league. So it's not something that they don't understand where our positioning is. I think we've made that very clear. We have strong support of the union and hoping that we can come to a resolution where everyone is happy, just the same way that we stand with our community in Orlando, the same way we'll stand, when things happen with the police and speak up about that is the same way that we need that type of support here with an issue that's so important to us.
Any direct dialogue since the fine was issued?
No. Right now we're just we had a game. We were off for back-to-back. So we were just focused on the game. We came here and we wanted to make a statement. And we appreciate you guys' time. We appreciate you guys listening to us and hearing our voice. And we'll appreciate it even more if you go out and write about this.
Tanisha, what does it say to you as a person?
We're back, Sanctuary family. T, you still on the line?
Yes.
Okay, so
I love each and every one of those sisters.
I'm gonna just give you mic, so just go.
Yeah, I love them so much, and when I saw that video the first time, and I've watched it several times, and particularly the last couple of moments of it, where the young woman was talking about how they are role models, and and you have children looking up to them. And, and it is cool, that they speak up for all issues, but I find it interesting that the league jumped up and fined them when they spoke out specifically about Black lives. Right. Immediately after Orlando, they wore T-shirts with the rainbow colors on them in support of the LGBTQ members who were killed. And, there are many gay athletes. So, of course, that's an issue that they want to stand up for. And it was okay for them to speak on, going green. But now when we want to talk about Black lives, now, they're being fined. Right. And so to me, that really speaks to exactly what, the fact that there is an anti-Black agenda where it's okay for me to speak about these issues, but it's not okay for me to speak about being Black. And what I figured out after, giving it some thought is that I realized that gay people can be white. White people can be gay, but white people can't be Black.
That's right.
And so, I'm assuming that, the issue is anti-Blackness, period. And I was so proud of them for standing up in the face of that, because I think a lot of the reasons that people don't speak is because they say, well, I have a job that I have to do and I have to take care of my family. And these women, despite knowing that they would probably be fined, or they didn't really know what the repercussions were going to be. And they stood up anyway because it was what was right. So kudos to those women. I did see that they were fined, but I also saw, I think it was yesterday or the day before, where the league is now backed off of that and then they're going to be fined or punished. And the Mystics, if I'm not mistaken, is the same team where the police officers walked off the job because they were wearing the Black Lives Matter
and that's
t-shirt.
the thing. Like, so police officers can protest against them and basically vow to not protect their lives, their very lives while they play, but you can't wear a shirt.
Right. And the funny thing is that the shirt spoke to Black Lives Matter, but it also, there was also something on the t-shirt regarding the police officers in Dallas who were killed. Yeah, but the issue wasn't about them wearing the t-shirt, with the sentiments about the Dallas police officers. It was specifically about Black lives. And to me, like, how out of touch are you when, 80% of your league is Black women, with Black children, and it's not okay for them to speak up for their families and the people that they love. So, like I said, kudos to them for standing up. I'm so proud of them because I know it wasn't easy, and they put their jobs on the line. But being rational isn't working. Being nonviolent hasn't worked. And you can't, like I've just said, you can't reason with people who are unreasonable. And they took a stand regardless. And so, obviously they realize now, because there was a protest after they announced the fines. And, I like protesting, but
what next?
At the same time, I feel like we need to be strategic about it. And these were people that actually bought tickets and went into the game to protest, which, obviously it worked. But I feel a way about putting money into their pockets so that you can go in and protest it. But all of that is beside the point. Kudos to the women for standing up. I also thought it was interesting that they gave, who was it? LeBron, Carmelo, what's his name? Dwayne Wade. That they actually gave them space at the ESPYs to speak on it. And so, but it was, it was very controlled, and I'm sure the message had to be approved. And this message from these women was not approved and not controlled. And
I think that was more or less kind of a disaster maintenance, where we just give you 3 or 4 the platform and let you say what you need to say to kind of appease the audience, to make you feel like you've done something, versus we want to see some real actionable change. And I think that's what it was. That was like more like damaging crowd control. And I think what the women did was they said, no, on our terms. We don't care. This is going to be on our, and that's, to me, that's the difference, because you can.
Yeah, they took the space.
Yeah,
they took it,
and that's why they got angry. And I know we make up the vast majority of the league as far as the players, but the people who actually spend money, where do and that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you look at the auction block, it was always us, but the people out there in the crowd, it wasn't us. We weren't. We might have controlled. The only thing that we controlled was the flow of the money, like how much you made based on what your body could do. But you were never you never actually moved any of the currency. So bragging about picking your 300 pounds when somebody else couldn't, like, I don't even know what that is, because and that's kind of still where we are. Right.
And the reality is that none of that currency moves if those athletes don't move their bodies.
But they don't. Yeah.
So for them to recognize the power that they had, and to knowingly take steps with consequences looming, Yeah, and I hope to see more athletes do that. I'm actually, because they said in that video that even going into the Olympics, that this is not something that they're going to be silent about. And I don't normally watch the Olympics, but I might tune in for that game just to see what they're on, because they're not going away. Clearly, they're not going away. And I appreciate them and their voice.
I'm actually excited about it for a change. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really excited about it because Rio has problems too.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so hopefully it'll be a global resistance and not just something that, because we always go fight for everybody else's problems and come right back home and can't sit at the lunch counter. And, and the whole thing about it is that, the protesting is okay, but it's the what next that we don't get right. You know what I'm saying? And so we have all the people who believe in nonviolence telling everybody else that you should believe exactly what I believe. Then you had all the people who believe that we should burn in their sleep and put glass in their food, telling everybody you wrong because you don't believe what I believe. There's a space at the table for everybody. And in order for a war to take place, you have to have military that operates on various different levels. And we can't sit at the table and bash everybody for not doing. If you believe in nonviolence and you want to go sit at the lunch counter and let somebody pour hot coffee in your face, then by all means, I'll be at the back with the burn cream.
Go for it.
But your sister can't do it like that. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody put eggs in my face.
Nature is not nonviolent. Anywhere in nature that you go, if you are dealing with a lion and you approach a lion in a violent manner, that lion is going to defend itself, because that's how nature works. And so for somebody to stand in my face and tell me that I can't respond to violence with violence, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. But, like you said, if that's what you want to do, that's cool. But you can't discount somebody else. You can't tell somebody else how to respond to their oppression.
Because not everybody has the financial resources to fight in one way. People don't pay me for me to go perform. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even want to see me on the stripper pole. I know they want to see me on the NBA court. If I had that kind of skill set, then I might be boycotting some stuff. But right now, I don't have that kind of clientele. So, but whatever it is that you can do, you got to use your thing. Yeah, and I think that's where we mess up. Everybody's sitting around telling everybody else, well, that's dumb, that's dumb, that's dumb. No, I'm just going to say, for me, that wouldn't work. But by all means, let's come up with a strategy how you can do what it is that you can do. But understand this, you are not allowed to sit at home and do nothing.
Right. And then my thing is,
absolutely.
My thing is, when LeBron and them said their speech, you hear a lot of people saying it's about time. They need to be in the community and do some stuff. But what are you doing? Are you in the community as well? Yeah. Don't say because they have a bigger platform that their expectation is bigger for them. We all have a platform. Ours might not be national, but it could be local. So we all have to use our own platform to create change and not expect certain people to do it for us.
Right. And it, T and I come on this show every single Monday. And it's not, we can't change the world, but we do what we can. You know what I mean? And just educating people is a necessary part of that revolution. Absolutely. And T, I'm so thankful that every Monday at 4:00 you call here and try to give the people some hope, some information, some strategies, just some things that are real and relevant that they can do that are, most of the things that you give them to do are like easy to do things, like skill, things like learning how to grow your own food or, that kind of stuff. Like you've never given anybody anything that said, just go outside and, strap a bomb to your body. You've never said anything like that. And yet people will still find a way.
And what I appreciate is that you are very true to what you believe. You're not scared to say what the masses may not want you to hear.
Necessary. Yeah.
Because for you to say, we might not see a big difference between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Most of us is gonna be mad at you for saying that, because we look at Donald Trump as the Antichrist
and thinking that she's okay.
Right.
And Missy Ann is not on your team.
Right. And so for you to say something like that, and stand by it, I have to give kudos to you, because everybody don't see it like that. And, and if everybody be, I think if everybody be open, I think a lot of times for us, we are very emotional people. And a lot of times when you base your decisions or your thoughts based on your emotions, it's not very productive. So a lot of times, the decisions we make about who we're going to select, we're basing it on our emotions. Yeah. We don't like Donald Trump, but what is she saying or what is she doing that makes her better? Yeah. And don't say because she's Bill Clinton's.
Because he didn't even want her. Let's just call it what
Right.
it is.
And, he's Bill Clinton's wife. And your mindset thinking, if we get her in, Bill going to be in the background helping out.
You don't know that. You don't know what their arrangement is. You know what I'm saying? You don't know.
Right.
And even if, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody expected for Michelle Obama to make all the decisions for her husband. That's just, they're the spouse. Right. But you can't vote somebody in because you think their spouse is going to take care of it. That person's name is the president. You know what I'm saying? And so if you don't trust them, don't get them that extra little 3 points on their resume because who they're married to.
And see, I think a lot of times they're going to go back to say, when Bill was in office, we lived our best lives during that time.
But we didn't.
But they think so financially.
I need you to know.
But financially, they think they did.
But so many of your people were getting incarcerated in order for you to live that lie. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I mean, it's a lot of daddies that ain't present right now. In order for us to live that lie, it was all a facade.
Right. And like somebody pointed out to me, and I hadn't really thought about this until he said it, was the whole, these last 7.5 years while Barack Obama has been president, and people like me are saying that he doesn't do enough for Black America. And people say, well, he's not the president of Black America. He's the president of all of America. And we can't, he can't, do what all these things that we would like for him to do. But in the same breath, you're telling me that if Trump becomes president, that it's going to make my life miserable. And I'm like, either the president has the power to change or he doesn't. It can't be that Barack Obama doesn't have power to do what we need him to do, but Trump will have power to make my life miserable. To me, it's, you're talking out of both sides of your neck. So I don't know.
Well, T,
I don't know.
I'm actually sending you something now. So we're gonna have I need you to go live on some of this stuff because your segment is not long enough. So I'm sending you something now. And this is, CNN has Harry Huck as their police expert, right? And so this video from Color Change talks about how he is asking for President Obama to ban niggas, Niggas, right? And so in the video,
to do what now?
Ban BAN.
Ban the word.
Hold
the
on.
Word.
I want you to watch the video. It said ban niggas, and it says the video claims that, quote, more people are murdered in a day by niggly bears than in a year by grizzly bears, end quote.
Wow.
So I just posted that, and if you don't get the tag, we know Facebook on some shady, so but be looking out for. I just tagged you in it, and can you go live on some of this stuff because
I surely will.
I've been needing them sermons like midweek, like you know what I'm saying, like you said, and then I'll find the scriptures to back it up because the people need the people.
I got you.
Yes, a word of God for the people of God. We like yes.
I got you.
Amen. Okay. Amen. The church.
Say amen.
Amen.
Yes.
And amen again. Thank you. So T, thank you so much for your time this week. As always, it's a pleasure. I'm so thankful for what you do on behalf of our people. And it's just an honor to serve with you every Monday. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. The feeling is mutual.
All right, lady. Love you.
All right. Love you, sis. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Sanctuary family, we're going to take a quick break. Get you some music or something. Help you detox a little bit.
Yeah.
She go hard sometimes.
She goes real hard.
She go hard. I need a rap song. Like we need some kind of intro music or something. Some kind of intro or outro music for T. What you think, Ynette? She needs some. Like she needs some that just been like, bam. I just dropped it. Like I was in there.
Just dropped the bomb.
We intro and outro. We gotta have something. We need something. I think. What you think?
I love it. She needs to.
She needs something.
The outro be better.
I'm gonna work on that. Let me find. I'm gonna ask her what she want. And see, T go hard, so ain't no telling what she probably wants. Some. I don't know. Poor righteous teachers or something. I don't know. We're gonna find her something. It's gonna be T Dizzle's outro song, and I'm out. And then Ynette, you gonna have to figure out a way to do smoke effects on the screen or something. You gonna work on it? Something. We're gonna do something. Is that a plan? I'm gonna work on that. Kevin, you okay?
I'm good.
This your first time on here. You okay?
I'm good.
All right, because me and T. So what I said to Kevin while we were doing the video and our mics were off was that now he can understand the importance of my spelling rules. Okay, because I'm probably guaranteed to go to jail at least once for protesting or something, and I need a man that can stand on camera and be like, burn it down. free my wife and all political prisoners. Like I need, you know what I'm saying? I need somebody that's not gonna be scared.
And be articulate to say that.
See what I'm saying? And if they ask you, black man, spell chiasmus, I don't need you to be like, what? Okay. So that's what I'm saying. I know I need that. Right? I need somebody that's not gonna be scared. Like I need somebody.
Your vocabulary is large.
It is large, but dictionary.com there's an app for that. There is an app for that. So right? Dictionary.com.
That's not an excuse.
Dictionary.com.
I hear you.
I need him to be like, fist bump me before I go to jail. Let me fist bump my husband before I get in these handcuffs. You don't have to take me. I give my life. Let me just go.
I like that.
Yeah? All right, Sanctuary family. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we're going to finish up with Kevin Thornton.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're going to be talking about these relationship goals.
Yeah. Now, are we going to go back to the little underlying thing I said?
I need prayer. I'm going to be praying while I need prayer. Like, you know how you start talking about something and you realize just how messed up you are? Like, I'm
funny.
Yep.
You funny.
I ain't going down in the water though, because I come up muddy at this point. I need prayer. It ain't that bad, is it? Like sitting across.
Nah.
You got that look on your face, like
you're funny.
I'm not gonna tell you, but
no, I would tell you.
You would?
Absolutely. I would. You think I'm lying to you?
I don't think you lied. I just think you're trying to preserve my feelings right now because I can make them. That's what I think. That's what I think.
No.
Yeah, he probably like that's category 1. Okay, that's category 3. Okay. I was rooting for you, but that's category 4. You probably doing that in your head. Ynette, take us a break. I love y'all, Sanctuary family. We'll be right back.
The biggest station in the world. Playing all